Indeed. Just to sort of take the question slightly further, there's claims that the questioner actually puts into their question, and this is, he claimed that he was a shadow and reincarnation of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and in 1904 he also claimed that he is Krishna. He claimed to be Krishna. Now the questioner also says that there's no mention in Hindu mythology that Hazrat Krishna will return, or Hindus believe him to be God. Do you agree with these claims, Jahangir Sahib?
Well, first of all, we have to remember that the Holy Quran is a wonderful book in many regards, and one of the aspects is that it's the only book revealed by God which requires it of the believers to believe in all the prophets and messengers sent in the past. And it says it very boldly that there is not a single people except that a warner was sent to them. So every people on earth throughout the ages received a warner, meaning a prophet or messenger.
And yet the questioner is implying that the Hindu community didn't
have one. Now the thing is that obviously we should expect to see, therefore, as you're saying rightly so, a prophet or prophets even in India, and of course we do. And there's a very interesting hadith actually which exists in the Tariq-e Hamdan Dailmi, and you'll find that in the chapter called Babul Kaf, where the Holy Prophet Muhammad ﷺ is on record for having said, "Kana fil Hindi nabiyan aswad al-lawni ismuhu kahina." So he said there was a prophet in India, dark of color, and his name was Kahina. Now this is the Arabic pronunciation of the name Kanhaiya, Kahina, Kanhaiya, which is one of the names of Krishna. As we know, our Hindu brothers and sisters called Krishna also Krishna Kanhaiya. Now this is, so he's saying that that was a prophet, a great prophet of God in India, so great that the Prophet ﷺ actually mentioned him. So this is to show that Krishna was indeed, although he is worshipped by Hindus today, he was a historical figure and he was a prophet of God, without a shadow of doubt. If you study his teachings, you will find that there was the teaching of the unity of God and of doing good to your neighbor, etc., exactly as was preached by the other prophets. And so we see that even the Holy Prophet Muhammad ﷺ mentions him, after which no Muslim should say that Krishna is just one of the deities of the Hindus. No, he's a person just like Christ, who was Sayyidina Isa alayhi salam, who was a historical figure, but who was later worshipped by his followers. And there was another claim which was made here, which you mentioned, and it is that there is no mention in Hindu mythology that Krishna will return again. Yes. This is such a, how would I say, a basis statement to make, and it only reveals total ignorance of the teachings of Hinduism and of the holy books of Hinduism. One of the favorite, if not the favorite, verses of the Bhagavad Gita, which is in chapter 4, as verses 7 and 8, of the Bhagavad Gita, which is recited and chanted very often by Hindus, is actually a great prophecy showing that Krishna would come again. And in those verses it is said, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyutthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. And the meaning of this is it's a very powerful prophecy made by Krishna. He says, whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice, O descendant of Bharata, and a predominant rise of irreligion, or an absence of religion, he said, at that time I myself descend to deliver the pious and to annihilate the evil ones, as well as to re-establish the principles of dharma, meaning of religion. I myself appear yuge yuge, meaning age after age, millennium after millennium. So this is where Krishna, and this is why the Hindus believe that as we are now in the Kali Yuga, so we're in the period of darkness, where sin abounds and irreligion abounds, they're awaiting Krishna. And so this was a true prophecy, and this is why when the promised Messiah came and said that, look no further, I am the Krishna who's been sent for you. Many prophets of the past, prophets. Now Allah says, "Lan tajidu li sunnatillahi tabdila." You will never see a change in Allah's practice. This is in the Quran. So when they behaved like that in the past, God saw it good to send a certain prophet. Now they're behaving in the same way again, so He will send a prophet who is very similar to the one He sent before, because His practice does not change. However, it will be all in one person, and He will address all the people, because He is now from Islam, and Islam is a universal religion for all mankind. So really I'm amazed at this question. They should be expecting to see one person who will come in the name of all those prophets to help, as it said in this very powerful text of the Bhagavad Gita, to deliver the pious people, and to annihilate the evil ones, and to re-establish the principles of religion. So this is self-explanatory.
I think an all-comprehensive answer there, and I think it does demonstrate that sometimes these allegations, as all of them actually are made, without actually understanding the full sort of element of what's being asked, and indeed the true sort of essence of Islam, which actually says there would be someone who would come in the latter days, which would unify not just the different factions or different communities within Islam, but who would actually unify Islam under the banner, unify all communities under the banner of Islam.
Exactly.
I mean, this concept or allegation is not alien to Islam, of a prophet coming in different guises. Imam Baqir, may Allah be pleased with him, he says the Imam Mahdi will say, "O ye people, if any of you wishes to behold Ibrahim and Ishmael, then let him note that I am Ibrahim and Ishmael. If any of you desires to behold Moses and Joshua, then let him note that I am Moses and Joshua. If any of you desires to see Isa and Simon, then let him note I am Isa and Simon. If any of you desires to behold Hadhrat Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then let him know that I am Hadhrat Muhammad." So this is a subject which has been addressed by scholars prior to the promised Messiah alayhi salam, and this is from their writings, not ours.
Jazakallah. If we can move on to some of the other questions which have been raised by